guys, I can't believe you came back. What's wrong with you? You came back for more. Listen, I appreciate it. I do. I really appreciate you guys coming to watch. You read that title right. Yes, I think that the Virginia Second Amendment sanctuaries are a joke. And I'm going to tell you why. You just hang on for just a minute.
You heard a while, but that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true, but now...
So before we get started, I want to thank you all so much for everything. I know I get a lot of opposition in my messages and in the comments, but I also get a lot of support, and I appreciate all the support, and I don't care about all the opposition. I want you to oppose me, I do, but I want you to oppose me intellectually, and 99% of the things I get that oppose me aren't even an attempt at an intellectual opposition. They are just antagonistic, and I understand that's the nature of putting my face on TV. YouTube. So it is what it is. I can't stop that, but I can't ignore it. But if you do have a real concern and you have an actual intellectual argument, hey, throw it at me. We can talk about it. You know, I'm always open for new opinions. So on that note, a lot of the things that, you know, you guys have looked at and have argued about in the last couple of videos have actually been covered in all the prior videos. You should probably, before you make a statement on one, go back and watch the entire series on the Civil War, because there's a lot of things in there that expand and expound upon the things that were said in the most recent videos. That is, there's more detail and there's more time spent, and that's why it's a series and not just one 15-minute video. So make sure you check all those out, and while you're at it, since we're going to have this discussion today, you need to check out my series on the Constitution, which is not complete yet, but the parts of it that matter are in there, and they're going to apply to today. So let's get into this. Why do I think the Second Amendment, why do I think the Second Amendment sanctuaries are hard to say and a joke? Well, let's look at what is written in some of these resolutions from some of these communities. One thing is common with all of them, and they all pretty much say that this community, will not dedicate certain resources to enforcement of new gun laws. Let's unpack that, because there's a lot in there that you have to consider, okay? The first thing is that what they're saying is they're not dedicating new resources or any resources to the enforcement of state laws. New state laws. They're not dedicating resources to enforcement. They're not saying that they are not going to allow states and federal governments from coming in and enforcing these laws. They're just saying that they're not going to make an effort to. And they purposefully fell short of saying that they're going to defend you from other governments who would come in and do it. And that's because they just cannot do that. They cannot, as a municipality, maintain their charter while simultaneously saying that we're not going to allow our superior governments to do their job as they perceive it. And that's where they fall short. As far as I'm concerned, if your state or city or county or community hasn't said that not only will we not dedicate resources to, you know, enforcement, we will dedicate resources to defense of your Second Amendment, right? We will actually not just not come into your house and take your guns, but we won't allow anybody else to do it too. That would be refreshing. Wouldn't that be great? Then I would take it a little bit more seriously. I would take this whole thing a little bit more seriously. Because right now, what they're basically saying is that, you know, hey, here's a bird sanctuary, and we promise, you know, as the owners and operators of this bird sanctuary, to not go in there and kill any birds. However, we won't do anything about anybody going in there and hunting them on their own. Well, that's not a sanctuary. I've never heard of a sanctuary that allows you to hunt, right? Because it defeats the purpose. So that's what these sanctuaries are, at least for those that I've read. Now, again, I'll caveat this, saying that I haven't read every single one. I've read several, and they all say the same thing. I'm sure there's probably one somewhere, and I pray there is, that actually goes as far as saying that not only will we not, you know, enforce, but we will defend. If you know of that one, and you have that resolution, not just a report of it, but if you have the actual chartered resolution, please send it to me. I do want to see that. I'm eager to see that, and I'm hoping they are out there. But the ones that I've read are not that. They're far from it. And the second part of that is that they're not going to enforce new Gun laws. Well, that's not a Second Amendment sanctuary because the Second Amendment has already been bastardized. Can we say NFA? Look, if your local community in your city or your county or municipality or whatever is willing to go out there and say, not only will we not enforce these laws, but we will defend you from enforcement of these and all intrusions on your Second Amendment rights, that would be something. So they could actually say, look, if you want to have your fully automatic AR-15 with a suppressor on it and a short barrel without having to go through any hoops or go to any kind of government stamps or licensing or, whatever, then you can do it and we will actively defend your right to do that. That's where I'm moving. You guys pass that rule and I will be there. I will pack up all my ammo and all my guns and all my equipment and my family and all my friends and a good chunk of the Florida militia, and we'll all just move there and we will help you defend your county. Your county will suddenly have more money, more economy, more things going on. That's how that's going to be. I miss Virginia. I miss living there. I don't miss the cold. I mean, I'm outside, doors wide open, and it's, I don't know, 80, I think, today, 3 days before Christmas. So, yeah, I'll move back to Virginia and freeze for my rights. Heck yeah, I will. And I'll fight and defend them if anybody comes in trying to take them, as long as it's a community effort, as long as I'm not the only guy. I'm not going to be, the Branch Davidians, and everybody's just going to stand there with their thumb in their place and just watch as they burn me down. No, I don't want to be that guy, but if everybody is willing to fight to defend these rights as a governed community, then I will gladly move there and be a part of your society. So those two parts of that are covered. Now, here's the question I have to ask you. Why just a Second Amendment sanctuary? Why not a constitutional sanctuary, right? I mean, if you are going to, build up and potentially even go to war with the state or federal government over a certain amount of a certain right, why not do it for the whole thing? Why not protect and defend the entire Constitution that has been so bastardized, right? Show me a community that gets rid of all of this federal welfare, that does not apply apply federal taxes, those sorts of federal taxes to the people, right? So show me a sanctuary where I don't have to pay into Social Security, where I don't have to pay into, nationalized health care, where I don't have to pay into, border patrols and border protections and all these unconstitutional things that the government, I see you over there shaking your head, what are you talking about? Yeah, the federal immigration law is against the law. It's unconstitutional, as much as welfare is, right? So if you were to actually follow the Constitution, yay, I don't have to worry about somebody taking my Second Amendment. Yay, I don't have to worry about paying for these ridiculous social programs. But wait, what? I have to let illegals in? Yeah, because according to the Constitution, there's no such thing as an illegal. Hey, man, you don't get to pick and choose. You have to either support the thing or you don't. You can't say, well, I want to, sanctuary for the Second Amendment, but forget the 10th, forget the 5th, forget the 4th. Forget the, Constitution in body itself. I just want to defend this particular right because it behooves me. Nope, that's not how that ought to be. You either defend the Constitution or you don't. You don't get to pick parts and defend those and call it a sanctuary for certain parts of the Constitution. So now, show me a place where I can exercise all of my individual freedoms, including a freedom to not have to register myself with the government, and a freedom to not have to register my guns with the government, and a freedom to not have to, be part of a social welfare system. Show me that place, I'm moving there. That's where I want to live. But that place isn't being offered. Nobody's even talking about that. So until you guys can get serious and start seriously considering defending the Constitution, not just parts of the Second Amendment, but the entire thing, as well as the 1st through 10th and the body of the Constitution itself, until you are willing to actually stand up for all of that, I just can't take you seriously. I can't. So I know I've pissed everybody off. That's what I do. But hey, I still love you and I still appreciate you coming. And you know, when we get into more of that stuff, you'll understand better. But go back and watch some of my videos and you'll see where I'm coming from. Thank you so much. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you all have a great week. I want you to enjoy your family. Don't get in political arguments with them. It doesn't do anybody any good. Just have a good Christmas. Okay? I love you all. Take care. See ya.
You heard a while, but that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true.